Welcome back to the series on the economic analysis of agency law. I'm Professor Seth C. Oranburg, and today we're exploring entrepreneurship within agency relationships. Delegating authority doesn't just offload tasks. It creates opportunities for innovation and progress. But as we've seen throughout this series, delegation is never risk-free. When agents are encouraged to think like entrepreneurs, their creativity can push organizations forward, or if mismanaged, send them spiraling off course. So let's come back to Hotch Hotch, because the mayor has been learning the fine art of balancing trust, incentives, and accountability. After introducing bonding strategies in episode 7, the watchers felt more empowered to innovate. One watcher, Fox and Sox, had a big idea. "Mayor," said the fox, "I've noticed something about the bee. It buzzes in patterns, almost like it's communicating. What if we developed a system to decode the buzz? We could understand what motivates the bee and make it work more efficiently." The mayor was intrigued. "That sounds promising, but also risky. What if it doesn't work? What if it disrupts the bee's routine?" But Fox and Sox, full of the entrepreneurial spirit, replied, "All innovation carries risks. If we succeed, the payoff will be worth it." This moment captures the essence of entrepreneurship in agency relationships. Joseph Schumpeter, one of the most influential economic thinkers, described entrepreneurs as innovators who disrupt the status quo. They combine resources in new ways, creating value and driving progress. In Hotch Hotch, Fox and Sox was doing exactly that, seeing possibilities where others saw routine. But as Schumpeter reminds us, innovation always involves uncertainty. The mayor, as the principal, has to decide whether Fox's plan was worth the risk. Here's where Frank Knight's concept of uncertainty comes in. Knight distinguished between risk, which can be measured, and true uncertainty, which cannot be measured. When the mayor considered Fox's proposal, he faced Knightian uncertainty. Would the new system unlock the bee's potential or destabilize the hive? There's no way to calculate the odds of that. Principals in this situation often have to rely on judgment, intuition, and trust in their agents' abilities. Fox and Sox's idea also highlights Israel Kirzner's concept of entrepreneurial alertness. Kirzner argued that entrepreneurs succeed by noticing opportunities others overlook. Fox's observation of the bee's buzzing patterns was a moment of alertness, an insight that could lead to a breakthrough. This is exactly what principals hope to encourage when they delegate authority to entrepreneurial agents, but it's not without risks. The mayor decided to approve Fox and Sox's plan, but with conditions. "You can pursue this project," the mayor said, "but I'll need regular updates on your progress, and if it disrupts the hive, we'll have to reassess." This decision reflects an important principle. Delegation doesn't mean giving up control entirely. It means setting boundaries, monitoring progress, and being ready to pivot if things go awry. In the real world, we see similar dynamics in companies that encourage employees to think like entrepreneurs. Google, for example, famously allowed employees to spend 20% of their time on personal projects. This policy led to innovations like Gmail and Google Maps, products that have transformed the way we communicate and navigate. But not every idea worked out, and Google had to manage the risks of letting employees experiment freely. Venture capital is another real-world example. Venture capitalists fund startup founders. They give them the resources and autonomy to innovate. But they also face high levels of uncertainty. For every success like Airbnb or Tesla, there are countless startups that fail. Venture capitalists mitigate this risk by diversifying their investments and maintaining some oversight through contractual rights to board seats and by getting information like performance metrics. Back in Hotch Hotch, Fox and Sox's project had mixed results. At first, the new system seemed promising. The watchers began to decode the bee's buzz. They discovered patterns that helped optimize its workflow. But over time, the system became too complex, and the watchers spent more time analyzing data than supervising the bee. Honey production dipped, and the mayor had to step in. "Fox," said the mayor, "your idea had merit, but it's become a distraction. Scale it back and focus on what's working." This story illustrates the balancing act of entrepreneurial agency. Innovation can unlock incredible value, but it also introduces risks that principals must manage carefully. Delegation isn't just about empowering agents. It's about creating systems that balance creativity with accountability. So what's the takeaway? Encouraging entrepreneurship in agency relationships can drive progress, but it requires clear communication, strategic oversight, and a willingness to adapt. Principals must navigate the tension between giving agents autonomy and maintaining control. By understanding these dynamics, principals can create environments where innovation thrives without losing sight of long-term goals. In our next episode, we'll explore what happens when principals and agents have competing interests. We'll look at how conflicts arise in agency relationships and the strategies principals use to manage them. And as usual, we'll come back to Hotch Hotch to see if the mayor is keeping the watchers and the bees working in harmony. Thank you for joining me on this episode. I'm Professor Seth C. Oranburg, and I look forward to continuing the journey with you in episode 9.